Welcome to Wasting No Time on HTV. I'm your host, Sharon Moses. In ancient cities, waste were thrown into unpaved streets and roadways where they were left to accumulate. It was not until 320 BCE in Athens that the first known law forbidding this practice was established. Now, at that time, a system for waste removal began to evolve in Greece and in the Greek-dominated cities of Eastern Mediterranean. In ancient Rome, property owners were responsible for cleaning the streets fronting their property. But organized waste collection was only associated with state-sponsored events, such as parades. Now, the Houston Solid Waste Management Department provides organized solid waste services to the citizens. And we do this through the collection, disposal, and recycling of discarded material. And we do that in a manner that is safe, efficient, environmentally sound, and cost-effective. On this episode of Wasting No Time, we are recognizing the women of this historical industry. They have a hand in making this process run really smoothly. So here today in the studio, we have Angelica Tejerina, a senior communications specialist with Solid Waste Management Department, and E. Monique Johnson, an administrative supervisor. I want to thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. I'm so glad that we're talking about women in solid waste. I have a specific question I'm just going to throw off the top. Did either one of you imagine yourselves working in the what we call the garbage department, the trash department?
Actually, I didn't. I applied with solid waste about 16 years ago, and I initially applied for a customer service rep position, and my sole responsibility was to answer the the hotline.
And you started out, you worked in the recycling division of the Solid Waste Management Department. So
That's
have you
correct.
always been in the recycling division from the time that you started originally?
That's correct.
Now, Monique, what exactly do you do? I think you are an administrative supervisor.
Yes, that is correct.
And what do you supervise?
Actually, I'm over the dumpster inspection branch, and our responsibility is to conduct code enforcement in regards to the dumpsters.
I think that's pretty interesting because I always thought that you were a supervisor over safety. Was I wrong the whole time?
Yes, you were.
It's funny because you and I have worked in the same building,
Yes.
but our paths have never crossed as far as working is concerned. So you oversee dumpsters. What does that entail?
Basically, Sharon, that entails code enforcement violations. We make sure that the dumpsters are in compliance and assisting the citizens in getting into compliance in a timely manner.
I'm going to come back to that in just a minute, but I want to ask you, I know Gigi, may I call you Gigi on
Yes,
television?
that's okay.
You and I, we have worked together literally in the same division, and it's been in the recycling division, but you have left our department for greener pastures. You've gotten a promotion, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
What is it that you do now? What's your title?
I'm a senior communications specialist.
And what does that entail?
Being a senior communications specialist, it involves extensive customer service, which I communicate directly to our residents. I respond to informational requests and rectify any issues that our residents might have regarding or pertaining to solid waste services. I'm the liaison for the mayor and council member office staff.
Now, you started out saying that you began in the recycling division. Are you still in the division of this department, or have you kind of moved over to another?
I'm actually in the public information office staff.
Very good. Public information office.
Yes, that's good.
Okay, let's go back to you, Monique.
Okay.
Dumpsters.
Yes.
Code enforcement.
Yes.
I don't understand. Can you help me? There's a code for dumpsters. There's enforcement issues. Can you kind of talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Some of the violations that we enforce would include permits, making sure that the establishment have a current permit, ensuring that the dumpsters are provided with tight-fitting lids, determining if screening is required for the dumpsters. So there are several violations that we actually follow up on.
So, Monique,
Yes.
dumpsters. Can you tell me why that is an important issue for the Solid Waste Management Department?
Yes, it's very important for solid waste management and for the city of Houston because we're trying to maintain cleanliness in the city of Houston and near and around the city.
So we're talking about basically what you do. It actually is a quality of life issue then for our citizens.
Yes, it is, Sharon.
Very interesting. Now, Gigi, you provide a special service to the City of Houston and the Solid Waste Management Department. I want to talk about that just briefly.
Okay.
We have what we call a mascot, right? Reuse that wisely.
That's correct.
And sometimes that body that's in that mascot, is that you?
It is. It is me. That's Reuse It Wisely, and she loves to be invited to environmental events, and she loves to spring into action to educate the public on recycling.
How did you get involved in that particular assignment?
I was asked to do an event one year, and I said yes, I agreed, and ever since then I've been reusing it.
That's excellent. We're so glad to have you come out with us sometime as well. Thank you so much for doing that. It gets really hot in that suit sometimes. Why do we need a permit for a dumpster?
Actually, the permit is a requirement in regards to the fire code ordinance.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. And did you say something about combustible?
Yes.
What do you do in that? What is that?
Actually, that's the name of the permit. It's a combustible waste storage permit.
Okay.
And combustible is just flammable.
It's been such a pleasure to have you both on the show today. Gigi, I can't thank you enough for being the mascot. Thank you both for taking out the time to be here today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
See you next time.
Thank you for having us.
Good. We'll be right back with more Wasting No Time after this. Welcome back. I'm Sharon Moses, and you are watching Wasting No Time. Today we're discussing women in the solid waste management department. And we're bringing attention to these women because historically the industry has been primarily a male-dominated field. However, women are making some major strides in this industry, and we're treading new ground. Here to tell us more about their roles in the organization, we have LaShonda Adams-Little, a solid waste supervisor, and Elvia Quiñones, a staff analyst for the department. Thank you both for being on the show.
Thank you, Sharon.
I want to start with you, LaShonda, because I understand that you are a supervisor, and we had a supervisor in our previous segment. What is it exactly that you supervise?
I supervise the bulk waste collection, collecting the heavy trash debris.
Bulk waste. Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
is that synonymous with heavy trash debris?
Yes, it is.
Does that also include our tree waste as well?
Actually, we alternate months
Okay,
here.
okay.
We collect bulk waste in the even months, and we collect green waste, tree waste,
Okay.
in odd months.
But as a supervisor, you are a supervisor over both of those?
Yes, I am.
Very good. Now, how long have you been doing this?
I have been supervising for 2 years.
2 years? Ah, you're kind of new at it.
Pretty
How do you
new.
like it so far?
I love it.
I'm going to come back to you, but Elvia, I want to talk to you. I know that you do something very important for the department. You're a staff analyst, right?
I am a staff analyst by title, but I manage the geographic information systems for the department.
Ah, GIS.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm excited about GIS.
I'm glad you are.
Now, for our viewers who don't understand what that is, can you tell us a little bit about what GIS
Absolutely.
is?
What we do is that we get the landscape, basically what is out there, and we convert that into digital data. And so we make points, polygons, line, and behind those points, polygons, lines, we have tabular data. With that data, we can just analyze what is out there and create our routes.
That's a lot. Okay, so like if I take that and say basically what you do, can I say that you create maps?
We do create maps, yes. Actually, that's kind of the nickname for me, the map making person. But we do so much more with GIS. You can just do anything that has to do with statistics too. We run statistics for the department. We run numbers, how many houses we have out there, how many houses are in each one of the routes. And based on that, we can just create a more efficient way for our truck drivers out there.
LaShonda,
Yes.
bulk waste. Are you driving around the truck? Are you looking at people when they pick up the bulk waste?
Yes,
Tell
I
me
am.
a little bit about how you became a supervisor in this position and what it is exactly. I mean, because I think the overview is we get it, but what do you do?
Well, Sharon, there is a lot of work. There are 18 employees that report to me directly. So it's managing their time. It's so much involved in what I do. Just monitoring the employees, monitoring the routes, talking with the citizens, and it's just a plethora of things.
Okay, LaShonda, so you are a supervisor. You've been a supervisor for 2 years.
Correct.
Where did you start on the back of the truck or on the truck?
I did. I started 5 years ago with the department as a senior refuse truck driver.
So you were literally picking up garbage.
Yes,
Not that
indeed.
there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
But you started out. How many women are actually on the truck picking up garbage? Do you have a count? Do you know?
I want to say within the 4 quadrants, there may be 12 of us.
Wow. So there are actually more women in the department than people realize.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Elvia, how long have you been with solid waste?
5 years, Sharon.
5 years. Did you start off as a staff analyst?
Yes, I did. I started as a staff analyst with the department. I'm still a staff analyst.
I want you to talk a little bit more about what you do. I know you said that you do the mapping, and then you're talking about how you have to plan things out. For, do your paths ever cross? I mean, you're in the field technically, LaShonda, right?
Yes.
Are you in the office or in the field?
I'm in the office, but we do have to talk to the people in the field. So LaShonda's input and all the supervisors' input is critical for us to be able to create efficient routes. So we're always in constant talking and sharing information.
So how do your paths cross? Are you picking up the phone, calling LaShonda, saying directly, or are you just kind of giving information from the input that's coming in from the field?
Oh, we do call each other on email, and it happens, and it doesn't have to be necessarily just LaShonda, but with all the supervisors, it happens on a daily basis. The city of Houston evolves constantly, so it's up to them to let us know what is out there.
And I just think that your position is very, very important. I think both of your positions are very important. But if you're looking at, say, the GIS mapping, you would have to have a specific skill set, right, to do that type of job, would you not?
Well, yes, you do. You have to have good analytical skills, keen eye for details, and of course, an IT background. And that's basically, and
basically. Why do you think that solid waste is so important to the citizens of Houston?
It is so important, Sharon, because without it, our city would be flooded with debris. It just wouldn't be a sanitary place to live.
Okay. So we're looking at two beautiful women in the solid waste management department. Different positions, but positions are just as important, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We're a team. That's how we work in this department. Our work relates to each other. I cannot do my work efficient without LaShonda's input and all the supervisors' input, as well as it works the same backwards.
I'm so glad to have you both on the show. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much,
It's a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure.
More solid waste when we return. And we are back. We're talking about women in the solid waste management department. We have two more exciting women here to tell us about their roles within the division. We've got Assistant Director Carolyn Wright and Division Manager Wealthia White. They're making major strides as leaders in our industry, and I want to thank them both for being here today. Thank you both for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
for having me.
let's get started with you if you don't mind. Wealthia, I think you just came to our department, right?
That's true.
How long have you been with solid waste?
8 months.
8 months. Did you
Yes.
come in as a division manager, I would assume?
I
having been there
did.
such a short time.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll come back to you just, Carolyn.
Yes.
You are assistant director, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
How
that's
long have you
correct.
been with the solid waste management
Oh
department?
my goodness, I've been with the solid waste department 28 years.
Wow, you don't look a day over 28
I'm
yourself.
going to write you a personal check after this. My 30th year with the city of Houston, going into my 30th year.
Very good.
Yes.
Wow. Now, Carolyn, I understand you worked your way up to assistant director. Is that correct?
Absolutely, that's correct.
Have you always been in solid waste since you've been with the city?
Well, the first 2 years I was in the public library department, and I transferred to solid waste after the first 2 years, and I've been in solid waste 28 years now.
Wow. And Wealthia, you've been with us for 8 months.
8 months.
Have you been
yes.
with the city prior to that?
Yes.
Okay.
16 years.
Okay.
Total years
16
of service.
Now, you're assistant director, Carolyn. You're a division manager.
Correct.
Wealthia, what are you over? What's your main job, I guess?
I manage the accounting and business services
Okay.
division.
Okay. Accounting. Now, I would think that you could pretty much have an accounting department in any division, correct?
That's true.
Okay.
If there's an organization that has the responsibility of setting up, maintaining accounts, reporting on those, yes, they would definitely need an accounting division.
Okay. And you have to have a specific skill set to do what you do.
It's helpful, yes.
Now, Carolyn, as the assistant director, you're kind of running the show. You're a heavy hitter.
Well, that's nice of you to say. Actually, it's the employees that make the difference in the department.
Very
So
good.
without them, I wouldn't be nothing.
Well said. Let's get a round of applause. Can you tell me what it is that you do?
Provide oversight in the collection and disposal of solid waste services in the northern quadrant of Houston.
Now, let me ask you, you've been with the City of Houston for a while, and with the Solid Waste Management Department for quite some
Yes.
time. We're talking about women in solid waste. How has the industry changed from your perception?
It's changed tremendously. It's labor intense. It was many years ago. We've gone into an automated system. where we used to have perhaps 3 employees on a truck to pick up our collection, residential collection. Now we can do it in automated, 1 employee operating an automated vehicle. So that has changed tremendously.
So there are 3 assistant directors, am I correct?
That's correct.
And you are the only woman.
I am the only female, absolutely.
To your knowledge, have there been any other women that have been assistant directors at the City of Houston in the Solid Waste Department?
During my tenure there's been one. Carol Francis was the assistant director of support services.
Okay. I would ask you how long ago it was. Don't answer it. I would ask you how long ago that was, but I'm not going to. Wealthy. So tell me, you are division manager over accounting. What are we counting in the Solid Waste Department?
In the accounting division, we're responsible for counting a number of things. We count in our fixed assets inventory, we count our trucks, we count equipment, we do our expenditures, our revenues that we're generating. There's a variety of things that we're counting.
Does it cost a lot of money to pick up garbage?
Well, certainly there's cost associated with garbage collection, but people have to realize that we're also having to pay for staff, for equipment and supplies, and the maintenance of our facilities.
Okay.
And so we do that in the Solid Waste Management Department in a cost-efficient way, and I think our citizens are pleased with the service that we provide.
Now, I've asked this before in the other segments, and I just have to ask it because I recognize that solid waste is about our community and about quality of life issues. What do you ladies see as probably one of the most important things that we do with solid waste? Carolyn, you can answer that one first.
One of the things that we want to do is ensure that we provide that level of service to the citizens of Houston because, as you stated, quality of life is very important. No one, I don't care where you live, what your background is, you don't want that garbage in front of your home when you come home. You want it removed because it does create a health issue in your environment. And so that's what we want to make sure that we do. And as she stated, we do it at no fee to the citizens of Houston. We're able to do it with the budget that is provided to the department in an efficient manner.
And Wealthia, since you're so new to the division, I just have to ask you, what has surprised you most about solid waste?
I think one of the things that I've been pleasantly surprised about is that the teamwork. And that's one of the things that attracted me to the department. I used to work years ago as the financial analyst for the Solid Waste Management Department for the budget development process, and it was through that I saw such professionalism in teamwork inside the department. It really piqued my interest, and I wanted to be a part. So,
now, I'm going to take a little liberty here. I never really thought about garbage until I became part of the department. So how has garbage affected your life?
Well, you know, I will say one thing I like about the department in that we are a garbage department, but also we are a professional department. And I think garbage is the key thing that we provide that service for. But also I think it has evolved and changed our lives in terms of how important it is. As we're now into this age of technology as it relates to recycling. So those sorts of things are coming into play as well. And so I think for all of us, it has been an educational tool that we've all benefited from.
So I'll ask both of you, and I guess I'll start with you, Wealthia. What have you learned from working in solid waste?
I've learned that the Solid Waste Management Department is very focused on training and development. The director is really concerned about how well we do. He wants to sustain and enhance our productivity. And so he has a clear roadmap, along with the other executives, on what we should be trained on. And so that's really refreshing to have a department that is so focused on training the workforce.
Very good. Thank you. And Carolyn, you know I have to ask you. You've been here a while. What have you learned?
I think that in addition to the training, one of the things that I've learned is that it is a partnership. Teamwork is extremely important, and the partnership is between the department as well as the citizens of Houston, is that we can't be everywhere at all times, and so we rely on the citizens to give us information to make sure they're our eyes and ears for us, and so that's extremely important, and that's some of the things that I've learned in the department.
No, I just have to ask you, and congratulations to you,
Thank you
for earning your position.
Thank you.
Can you talk to the public? Just tell us a little bit about something about blooming where you're planted, you know, working your way up. What is it? You've been here a while. What does it take?
I think it takes the drive and determination to want to succeed in the department. While the director is offering those things that Wealthia mentioned about training and development, you also have to be ready to embrace it because, as we stated, we're in a changing environment. We know that in the next 5 years, our core leadership team is probably going to look very different. Many of us are preparing for retirement, and so we're into succession planning and making sure that everybody have the tools that they need in order to be able to move within the organization. We are about developing our own workforce and promoting from within. And so anyone that comes to Solid Waste Department know that there's that opportunity for advancement, and so it is a successful department. So
It's been such a pleasure talking to you both today. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to stop by and see us.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
It's
you for
been our
having us.
pleasure. Yes, it has been our pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the discussion today of women in the Houston Solid Waste Management Department. If you would like more information about our services, please visit our website, www.houstonsolidwaste.org, or call us at 311. And remember, we want to be your friends, so like us on Facebook at Houston Solid Waste. Keep us social. Follow us on Twitter at Houston Trash. I'm Sharon Moses, another woman making strides in the Solid Waste Management Department. Thank you for watching Wasting No Time. See you next time.